Hello friends, my dear students, myself Wandhare Sheetal from XII.SCI Rao Bahadur Narayan Rao Borake College Sirampur. This video is prepared under the guidance and support of Honorable Principal Dr. Sahib. This video is only for the educational purposes. In the previous video we have seen about the structure of the antibody, then different types of the blood group system, that is the ABO blood group system discovered by Landsteiner. After that the RH factor. This RH factor, it plays an important role in detecting whether the antigen D is present or the absent and the positive or the negative blood group of an individual. From that same human health and disease chapter, here we are going to study that the different types of the common diseases present in the man, as well as which are the diseases takes place, how their symptoms and signs occurs in body, how that will be get prevented, and which are the treatments available on that. Okay. Now here, as we know that here the immune system, this immune system is nothing but here the resistance power or to fight against the various types of the diseases, and this immune system is maybe by birth is present, or maybe this immune system it is acquired artificially by taking any types of the injections, medicines and syringes from the doctors. Now this artificial immune system, it is for the very short duration, temporarily present, but the immune system which is present naturally, that remains throughout its body. But as the age by age or day by day, this system is also goes on decreasing, and at that time we require the extra support in the form of the medicines. Therefore, that purpose the health should be remains in the stable form. And if the health is not remain in the stable form, at that time that will be get the affected. Means that shows that here the any type of the infection takes place in the body, and this infection is maybe in the form of the viruses, maybe in the form of the bacteria, pathogens, different types of the elements that we called as the foreign elements, they are responsible to forms the infection inside the body. And if such a type of the infection, such a type of the foreign particle will be get entered in the body, at that time the human system is suffering from the disease, and this disease is nothing but, or it is defined as the disturbed or the damaged functioning of one or more organ of the body or the system of the body. That term is called as the disease. And here these diseases, they are broadly categorized into the congenital diseases as well as the acquired diseases. These congenital diseases means these diseases, they are present by birth, and the acquired diseases, these diseases, they are divided into the communicable or non-communicable. Means here they are responsible, or they may be occur inside the body due to any type of the pathogen is there. Now come towards here first, that is the congenital diseases. These congenital diseases, they are present from the birth, and they may be caused by the genetic abnormality or the metabolic disorder. Means here during the time of the pregnancy or when the zygote formation takes place, if that such a pregnant woman, it will be get exposed to the X-ray radiation, and if the mutation takes place due to that some factors, some elements, the genetic response or the gene sequence of that fetus, it will be get changed, and that such a disorder, it will be get created in that fetus at that time, that is come under the heading of the congenital diseases, because these diseases, they are related to the chromosome, they are related to the gene, and mostly these diseases comes under the uncurable condition. And if the advanced science or the advanced research in the medical science leads to the gene therapy, enzyme replacement therapy, and due to that these diseases can be curable. The second, that is the acquired diseases. These acquired diseases, they are the communicable as well as the non-communicable, and these diseases, they are developed after the birth and due to the pathogen. That pathogen may be in the form of the various elements present in the nature. This First is the communicable, or we called in short is the infectious diseases. Its name itself is the explanatory. What is present in that? That communicable means when the disease which are transmitted from the infected person to the healthy person. That is called as the communicable disease, and they may be transmitted directly or they may be transmitted indirectly. As we know that here, the very recently we are running this online lectures program. We are showing that the audio video lectures, and that is the reason behind that the suffering of the COVID-19. It is also the communicable disease. That coronavirus, it is the communicable, and therefore that is the present after the birth. Maybe here that is comes under the curable category, and depending upon this curability is the immunity of the person. The individual's immunity, person's immunity, it is responsible mostly to get the effect on or to get the cure of these the infectious communicable diseases are there. The second one, the diseases that cannot be transmitted from the infected person to a healthy person. These are the non-communicable diseases here. Here, this non-communicable disease, the very ideal example or well-known example for that, that is the cancer. If any person is suffering from the cancer and you are continuously in contact with that cancerous person, that is not be get transmitted to yourself from the infected person. Why this is happening? Because that disease, it comes under the non-communicable or the non-infectious diseases. Okay. Now, these communicable diseases, they may be transmitted with the help of the bacteria, viruses, fungi, helminth, and different types of the worms. All these diseases, they caused or they called is as the pathogen. These pathogens use the another organism to transmit to the human being, and these are called as the vector. These vectors, actually the parasite which we regularly come across them. This parasite is what? This parasite, it is an organism. It can be live inside or on the body of another organism for taking the nutrition of it, and this parasite, it always get harmed. It is broadly categorized into the ectoparasite as well as the endoparasite, and here we are going to show the one example belongs to that here, the infectious disease, that is the malaria. Okay. Now, what is this malaria? As already all of you know that it is not that the tremendous or the uncurable disease nowadays in the society. It is comes under the curable category because the advanced sciences researches in the medical science, laboratory research, the pathological research, they will be gives here the various diagnostic tests and the treatments available on these very common diseases are there. And this malaria, it is the caused as here, which is the causative agent of this malaria, that it is here the vector borne infectious disease and responsible or caused by the protist, that is the Plasmodium. This Plasmodium species, it is responsible to transmit the malaria. And who is the vector in that? The female Anopheles mosquito, it is the vector. Here, this mosquito, it transmits the species of the Plasmodium, and the life cycle of the malaria is completed or it requires the two hosts. Now, this common species of the Plasmodium, that is the Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium falciparum, and Plasmodium ovale. These are the four common species mostly find out to infect or to cause the malaria in the human body. And this Plasmodium vivax, it is having the incubation period 14 days. Then this Plasmodium malariae is having the incubation period 28 days. Here they may be cause the fever after the 72 hours of the infection, and this Plasmodium vivax, it shows the infection after the 48 hours. This Plasmodium ovale, it shows here the incubation period 12 days, and this Plasmodium falciparum, it shows the 12 days, 17 days respectively, that incubation period. After an regular interval or after the 48 hour mostly, when these protists come in contact with the human body, the fever of the body automatically that will be get increased, and this high fever indicate that any high fever in the body indicate that the such a type of the infection is there, and this will be get identified when we are going to test the diagnostic with the help of the blood or the urine sample. Then and then only will be get clear which type of the infection is occur on the human body, right? Now here, which are the signs and symptoms observed on this malaria? The very commonly we know that here the person, it is suffering from the very high fever, headache and the chills. They may be difficult to recognize the malaria without here the proper blood diagnosis. The classical symptoms of the malaria is a cyclic occurrence of the high fever followed by the sweeten and the sudden shivering. Such an entire episode lasts for 4 to 6 hours and it recurs every 2 days or the 3 days. Continuously this high fever shivering in the person 2 to 3 days, that will be get find out. The vomiting, convulsions, arthralgia, that is the joint pain. The person is suffering from the anemia also due to here the rupturing of the RBCs, the hemoglobinuria, hepatomegaly, that is the enlargement of the liver, then retinal damage in the eye region, and the infection to the brain if that protist, that Plasmodium reach to the cerebrum region. After that here come towards this diagram which shows the life cycle of this Plasmodium in the mosquito as well as the human. This mosquito, it acts as the only vector here, and the half life cycle it is completed in the human body. This is here they showing that the firstly it is the insect here. This insect, how they will be get continuous the life cycle, and how that will be different types of the spores they will be get germinate, and how they are responsible to forms the malaria. Here the very firstly this Plasmodium it is transmitted from the person to the another person through an insect vector, that is the female Anopheles mosquito. Here suppose this female Anopheles mosquito is there, and when this female Anopheles mosquito it sucks the human blood in the initial stage, when it sucks that human blood, it releases or the transfer the sporozoite into the human circulation. Here very firstly in the through the insect in the human skin, these sporozoites they are released, and these sporozoite after the second stage they will be get infect to the hepatic cell. This hepatic cell means the cells present in the liver. After the second stage they will be cause the infection to the liver cells, or they damage the RBCs, they reach to the liver, and maybe due to the entry of this in the liver that will be enlarged. The convulsions of the liver takes place, and here in the next stage the sporozoite reproduce asexually through the fission in the form of the liver cell or the erythrocyte, and the cells that is get formed, that is the merozoite. Asexually they will be get reproduced here, and they forms here the merozoites. After that here these merozoites, here that life cycle it is showing diagrammatically that how the RBCs that will be get infected, and how the infection that will be get continuous, which type of the cells get formed in the sequential manner. This gametocyte formation here takes place because here the RBCs that will be get ruptured, they forms here after the merozoite, the erythrocyte convert into the trophozoite. These trophozoite it forms here the erythrocytic scission. Already they are infected because here the sporozoite converts into the merozoite. These merozoite they reach here to the RBCs, they are converted into the trophozoite. These trophozoite it reach to the erythrocytic scission stage, and when the rupturing of these RBCs takes place here. At that time, here they will be forms the new RBCs. That scission it will be get ruptured, and the new RBCs that will be get formed. But these RBCs, they are produce the gametocyte. Here, if that such a gametocyte, it takes up again by the female Anopheles mosquito, and the fertilization it is occur here. Again this gametocyte is enter in the insect of the female Anopheles mosquito, and here in the gut region of this female Anopheles mosquito, here the gametes, male and female gametes, that will be get produced. The zygote formation takes place in that place, and this diploid zygote which is get transmit here convert into the oocyst. That diploid zygote here is converted into the oocyst. After that, this oocyst from a large number of they produce the haploid sporozoite through the process of the meiosis. After that, here again these sporozoite they migrate to the salivary gland of the female mosquito, and they are ready to infect again the human host. Here in this way the life cycle it is completed in two hosts. The half life cycle is completed in female Anopheles mosquito, and half life cycle is completed of the Plasmodium in the human body. And in this way, here the infection of the malarial parasite takes place by producing different types of the spores in the sequential manner by using the two hosts. Now, which are the diagnosis as well as the treatment available on this malaria? This malaria it can be diagnosed by preparing the blood smear. Here this blood smear of when the observed after the staining, when it is get observed under the microscope, and we will be get find out the ring in the RBCs here, the Plasmodium ring is get observed, and this Plasmodium ring it will be indicate that the person is suffering from the malaria. Here this diagnostic test is based on the nucleic acid amplification technique. It is also get used here, but here the common preparation of the smear it is the used generally in the laboratory. Now the treatment of the malaria it includes here the artemisinin based on combination therapies which is proposed by the WHO, that is World Health Organization. They have recommended the 5 different types of the medicines which include the various combinations of the sulfadoxine, quinine, etc. Now, which are the prevention and the control measures to protect from the malaria? The very firstly, as we know that here it is the mosquito borne disease. That parasite or the mosquito it acts as the vector for transmission of this malarial parasite, and therefore the first prevention measure is nothing but to avoid the mosquito bite. It is the very common. And secondly, use the mosquito repellent at your home. You can use the mosquito here net as well as the various types of the some insecticide is available in the market. You can use this insecticide which is get sprayed over in your home places, as well as to avoid the storage of the stagnant water at a one specific place, because of these larvae of maybe get grow in that stagnant water, and they will be responsible to spread that such type of the diseases. After that, here the mosquito larva that can be controlled with the help of the Gambusia fish, and whenever we get the doubt of that stagnant water, dirty water, release this Gambusia fish there, that will be get kill that mosquito larva which is responsible to spread the malaria. In this way, here these are the prevention and control measure we can take our own also. Here this way we have seen here the common human diseases and the life cycle of the malarial parasite, its signs, symptoms, preventive measures, diagnostic test. Thank you.